Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you couldn't tell, this video, I'm going to try to keep it short, but I did want to talk about how I'm able to read so many books. There are a few apps that I use to help me out. I do love and have a collection of like physical, like actual like hard copies of books, but I am an audiobook girly through and through. That is how I got back into reading. I still do immersive reading, and for the most part, if I'm traveling and I'm trying to travel light, or if I'm like cleaning up or running errands, I will have an audiobook going at all times. It's 75% chance it's an audiobook and 25% chance it is a podcast, okay? But I'm going to tell you guys about some of the apps that I use to help me get through some of these books. Some of these are tried and true. I've been listening to books through them for years, and two of them are fairly new, as in started this year, okay? So let's get started. And I'm looking at my phone because I have everything here, but I use something that is old, like have been using, OG to me, is Kindle. And yes, you can listen to audiobooks in Kindle. You can purchase audiobooks, but one of the things that I've learned too is that you can actually have books read to you. Is it the best? No, it is not going to be like those graphic novels or those books that have like a male and a female character's voice. It is going to be very monotone-ish, but when I don't want to put a book down and I just need to get through whatever task it is that I am currently doing, I will suck it up and listen to it. I listen to my audiobooks anywhere between 1.75 to 2 times speed. That is very fast. And I know some people who do like 3 times speed, and that is absolutely insane, because how do you know what they're saying? But 1.75 speed is like my preferred. 2 if I'm just trying to like get it done, you know. But Kindle is what I use, and I want to say the last book that I like let it read out to me was The Lost Bookshop. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. The last book that it read out to me was the what is this called? The Cowboy Colony Mail Order Bride series. And let me tell you, the voice of the narrator, not the absolute best, but I also like follow along with the words as it's highlighting it, and I was able to get the gist of it. I was just trying to stop myself from getting into somewhat of a reading slump, and those books were absolutely hilarious. They had a little bit of spice at the end, and the concept of it just like had me rolling. Okay, so yes, you can read the book. I know you can purchase audiobooks and have them read through Kindle, but that's not what I did with these. And then I also had The Lost Bookshop was on here, and I was reading it along with the audiobook that I had in Hoopla. And that is gonna lead me into I had Audible. I no longer have it because I can't justify like the price. Like, I am someone who prefers to listen to the audiobooks in a free manner if I can, and there are ways for you to listen to it free. If you have a library near you, go pick up a library card right now. It is free, and then these 2 apps that I'm going to talk about later is what you will use to get those audiobooks, okay? I know you can use Audible. I'm not paying for Audible. Kindle, I can read the books through there as well. So I use Kindle. And I have the Kindle app on my phone as well as my iPad. So that way, if I don't want to use my phone, I have my iPad. I know it's not the same as having like an actual Kindle, but I'm not spending money on that either. So I'm using what I have, okay? Because being a book girly, it is expensive. Nobody told me that this hobby was gonna be as costly as it is. And like, now that sprayed edges are a thing and authors like to drop their books as hardcovers instead of paperbacks first, it's a lot of money that I need to keep in my pocket. So we're gonna free this thing out, okay? And that leads me into the next thing that I was going to talk about. So there are 2 apps that I use. One in particular is very new to me, and the other is not. I didn't even realize with the other one you can get like TV shows on there, but we'll get into that. So what I was saying earlier, if there's a library close to you, even if it takes you 20-30 minute drive and go get a library card. It is free. It helps out your local library. It helps out your community. It will help you out as a person. You're going to get that library card. You're going to take that number off the back of it, and I'm not even going to pull my library card up. It's in my purse somewhere in the closet. Okay. You're going to take that library card and you're going to input that information. Well, first you're going to download 2 apps. You're going to download Libby. I'll post a picture here, and you're going to download Hoopla. I'm going to post that picture there. Okay. These are free apps. You do not have to pay for anything in these apps. You're going to connect your library card. You're going to log in using your library card. It's usually going to be your library number. I'm sorry. No. Your email address is your username, and your library number is your password. That's usually how that goes. That's how it went for me. I don't know if there's been any changes because I haven't had to do that. And then you're going to go in, you're going to scroll, and you're going to look for books. I know in Libby for sure. Let me pull it up. In Libby, you can get access to, whoops, that's the book that I'm currently reading. You can get the newest books, popular books. You can have it generate books at random. You can get what's available now, but there are over 1,000 titles currently added to my library. Your library is going to be a little bit differently, but it's separated by categories. There's kids, teens, mystery and thriller, business. So if you like those self-help books or those finance books, those are there. It also tells you if something won an award, like the Edgar Award for Best Novel. And then there are all the romance books that are available, must read mysteries, up close and personal biographies. If you like biographies, I've read a couple of biographies and I've really enjoyed them. There are Agatha Christie reads. There are books in here, like I said, for kids. There are rhyme and prose books in here, historical whodunits. Let's see what else is in here. Legends of the Old, getting ahead of your career. You can even get cookbooks and magazines in Libby. So if that's your jam, or you don't, because I didn't realize how expensive cookbooks were. My daughter asked for 4 specific ones for her birthday, and they were pricey. Okay. Super pricey. But if you would like to have them on your phone or accessible on some kind of electronic device, you can get access to a cookbook there. I will say the only downside, I've had Libby since 2021. So when I got my library card in Louisiana, you could access a book and borrow it for 21 days. In the state of Texas, they only let you borrow the book for 14 days, which is fine because I'm usually a pretty quick reader. You can do cookbooks, magazines, mangas. You can do ebooks, and you can do audio. This Libby, that app is where I do majority of my audiobook reading. The only downside is if it's a fairly new book or if it's not a book that is deemed appropriate, you have to call the library, have them add it to like their selection, their titles, and you have to wait for it to become available. You can click the little notify button and get notified when it is available, but if it is super popular, like I have some books waiting on hold, and you can only, in the state of Texas so far, you can only put 5 books on hold at a time, as well as borrow 5 books at a time. I know in Louisiana it was 7 books on hold, 7 books you can borrow at a time. There's one book in here. I started as number 31 on the waiting list for it. I am 15th in line. I have a 10-week waiting period. And that is the book Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. So I have a physical copy of the book, but that is one I want to do some immersive reading with. So that book I am waiting for. Yeah. So that is the only downside to it. But again, it's free. Okay. And then the other app, Hoopla, love Hoopla. And it'll tell you when you log in, Hoopla is brought to you by whatever library is closest to you. For me, it was Fort Bend County. So there is a kids version of Hoopla, so they don't have access to the adult stuff. But there's books, there's movie club, there are TV shows, there's magazines, there are, like I said, audio and ebooks, there are comics. You can get music on here. And not just TV, but you can also get movies. So Hoopla does a little bit more than Libby. You also, at least for me in Texas, you can borrow the books for up to 21 days. They will auto return in both apps if you don't return them yourself. But I try not to do that. Like if I get a book that I've been waiting on hold for and there are several people waiting in line behind me, if I can read it in 2 or 3 days, I will return it as early as possible. I will not wait and let it auto return. But Hoopla, I have not done TV shows or movies or anything. I strictly use this thing for additional audiobooks. So if it's an audiobook that has an extremely long hold, like what they have in the Libby app, if I can find it in Hoopla, I will read it or listen to it in Hoopla. And the last book that I listened to, the last couple of books actually, was Parable of the Sawyer by Octavia E. Butler. I'll discuss that in my April reading wrap up. The Lost Bookshop we'll discuss in April. And then Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, we'll discuss in April, okay? But the books are usually available for a longer period of time, and because I don't think a lot of people know about this app, if they did, I'm sure the holds would be much longer. But yeah, whatever books I cannot get in Libby, I will supplement with Hoopla, and it has been phenomenal. Again, free. Free. Go get a library card, which is free. Add it, download those 2 free apps, and listen to the audiobooks for free. I guess the only downside is if you like to actually own the physical copies of the book, like, you're not getting the physical copies of the book. You're borrowing them and then returning them so other people can read them. But you're utilizing your local library, which is super, super helpful, especially in today's climate. I'm not going to get political on you guys. I stand libraries, okay? Like, if it wasn't for me having access to books at school libraries and local libraries, I don't even think I would be filming the videos that I'm currently filming right now. So if you are, or if you want to save money, if you are not interested in owning shelves full of like physical books, these 2 apps will help you with that. It will increase the amount of read time that you have, not read time, but how quickly you can get through those books. And there's access to everything, unless your local library has banned certain books. But that's neither here nor there. These are 2 of my favorite and most used apps. Hoopla I actually just got into at the beginning of this year or the very end of last year, because I had no idea it was a thing. I also know there is OneDrive, but between these 2 apps, I'm good to go. But Hoopla and Libby have been a godsend. Libby I started using and listening to books in 2021, and then Hoopla I got into at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. Highly recommend. 12 out of 10. Go and do what you need to do to get access today, okay? And then of course, yes, there's Kindle, but why would you? Again, I don't have to pay for things on Libby or Hoopla. And then if I really enjoy the book, I will go and get the physical copy of the book. If I already have a physical copy of the book, but I want to do immersive reading, I will use those 2 apps to figure it out. But those, between Kindle, Audible, Libby, Hoopla, because I'm not paying for Audible right now, but sometimes I pay for it. It's a love-hate relationship. I'll figure it out one day. But between those 4 apps, that is how I listen to so many audiobooks or do immersive reading or really tackle like my TBR, because it is getting out of hand. I started with like 20 something books on my TBR. I don't even want to know how many are on there now, because now I just go into bookstores or go into the airport and I'm like, oh, yep, you're coming home with me. So I have exponentially increased my TBR like within the span of 3-4 months, okay? But yes, those are my favorite apps. That is how I've been getting into audiobooks. That is how I've been tackling my TBR. It is how I was able to read 20 books. Yes, 20 books in the month of March. I don't know if I'm going to hit that mark for the month of April, because it is an extremely busy month for me with a lot of things that are transpiring, but I'm going to try to hit at least the 10 to 13-ish book mark. But yes, if you guys have any questions for me, leave them in the comments down below. If you use any of these apps, comment the little the headphone emoji on your phone or on your computer. And if there are any other like apps that you use, please let me know. So far right now, I'm only interested in what's free, but if there are paid versions that you absolutely just like live by, let me know. I know about Everend. Again, I know about OneDrive or Overdrive. I think it's Overdrive. OneDrive is what I use for work. My goodness. But if there are any other like apps, oh, and I'm sorry, there's an honorable mention. I just recently created a NetGalley account, and I got my first like audiobook on there. Well, it's not even an audiobook, it's an ebook, but I'm listening to it. I'm letting it play it out, kind of like what I was telling you about on the Kindle, if it's not already an audiobook. And so far, I need to kind of play with it, tweak it, adjust a few things, and then figure it out. I know you can send books to Kindle. Maybe I should do that for the next book that I pick up. But NetGalley is like extremely new to me, so I really didn't want to go into detail about it in this video, because I'm still working out the kinks. I think I just started listening to a book on there or reading a book on there last night. But if you guys, if there are any tips or tricks that you have for NetGalley, please let me know. I am open and accepting any comments or advice, but keep it PG. Don't be rude, don't be crazy, okay? This is a safe space, an open space, and I just want to connect with all the book girlies and boys and, like, you know, really enjoy my time in this community. But I will catch you guys in the next video, okay? Bye.